a decent man from the city of demons. Niggas be scheming, niggas be shooting. Senseless violence, really so many reasons. Mental health reasons, financial reasons. To be real, shouldn't love this city, but I love this city. Whoa, to be real, shouldn't love this city, but I love this city.
I'm a decent man in the city of sin. Bitches be tugging, niggas be mugging. Senseless gambling, really so many reasons. Prostitute reasons, more gambling reasons. To be real, shouldn't love this city, but I love this city. Whoa, they don't pay state tax in the city. Damn, I love this city. Still sinning up in paradise. Then ride down Flamingo, throw a paradise. Seen them all win it big, big bankroll. Then lose it all with a simple damn crap spell. Then lose their soul trying to get it back though. Then they take their dead body through the back though. 2017 we saw bullets from the sky. They told us why it happened, but we all know it's a lie.
I'm a decent man from the city of demons. Niggas be scheming, niggas be shooting. Senseless violence, really so many reasons. Mental health reasons, financial reasons. To be real, shouldn't love this city, but I love this city. Whoa, to be real, shouldn't love this city, but I love this city.
On my health, hearing got clearer. Started on this path, now I got the agenda. Never looking back, forward I go. Remember how Lot's wife turned into Saul. When you can't figure it out, don't know what's your next move. Give it all to God, baby, stay in tune. I'm in tune, I'm in tune, a big move. I'm in tune, catch this groove, so are you.
Baggage. Why you wanna carry all that baggage? You just wanna live but don't want to bury those attachments. You've been trying to move on but you worry what your last did. Mama said it's bad luck putting your bag on your mattress. Yeah, you should've listened the first time, asking if it's a bad time. This is the worst time. Ask me about a rap line, you don't concern mine. And I can't let a bad vibe close to me, especially cause I got my power, so now you ghosting me. Never gave no less to myself when you did the most to me. I ain't never settled for help in days I had no relief. So much on my plate, well, at least I got groceries. Artists producing, engineering his own shit. High flows, all on some cold shit. So sick, been keeping my distance from these niggas before COVID. That hating contagious, they got symptoms and they show it. Notice you been on it, working, trying to get your bag right. You been steady focused, ain't try to blow it like a bagpipe. I see right through you in that boozy shit you act like. You go buy another bag just cause it was half price. I guess the last one wasn't good enough. You brought your spend the night bag, still stood you up. Now you out here feeling mad that y'all ain't good as us, but you ain't down for me, so I'm looking up, conscious. Listening to Black Heart, got you saying I'm heartless. This tape got mad songs, you gon' listen regardless. Mask on or mask off, I'ma get it regardless. I'm just thanking God for the wins that pay for the losses. God bless the homies, just hope we make us a fortune. Big bags, I ain't with all that back and that forfeit. Six Flags, life is a roller coaster, I'm on it. Six path, 33 urgency, what I walk in. Slim chance that you gon' comprehend what I'm talking. But you should learn your purpose, can't take your bag to your coffin. Cause you don't learn yourself, it be hell on earth, got you burning up. Pastor, he got baggage too, tell the church you heard enough. And pack light when you move, and I tell you, cause all them bags that you using won't help you. And you unpack them still cause you looking to settle. But you pray to the spirits but still look for the devil. Sheesh. Hail Mary, all the golden era. Used to want to get married before I ain't know no better. You want me to carry your bags cause I hold them better. But I gave them back to you and told you show some effort. I got too much on my own hands, on my own bags. I done had to put down some of the weight that I grown past. Through with some ties I had to cut when I souls class. Still been getting back, just had to up one on my old stash. Pablo Picasso with the art, now it's all heat. Work through 7 days, I don't remember an off week. Put them on release, we not in sync like we off beat. Off the record, you should get in tune cause you off key. Nowadays, feel like I'm channeling mama and papa. I swear all that acting that they did could've got him an Oscar. Youngin' from the hood just happened to be as smart as MacGyver. Yeah. I'm aligning my chakras and making peace with my old days. Why fly the new name but still got my old ways? To create flow sound, you know it's that flow wave. Sheesh. You know it's that flow wave.
The music man.
Elevated and concentrated and never mean it. Manifested the very essence of human being. Cosmic beauty is like a movie, is what I'm seeing. We all special, I just ignited what I believe in. Oh, what a feeling, I'm giving it to the most high. Vibrating lovely in paradise with the most vibe. Girl, you been touched by an angel, cause you're the most fly. We either do or we don't, you know there's no
I'm
try.
like forward ahead. You know we all need a friend, eh? I want you in my duet. I want you in my life. I'm like forward ahead. You know we all listen, eh? I want you in my duet. I see you in my life. Because now everything is love and there's no assumption. And the energy inside me wants you all so bad. And when we embrace this love, it'll be more than something. It would be magical. It would be magical. When we embrace this love, it'll be more than something. It would be magical. It would be magical.
Visualizations and affirmations to see a world full of love, beauty, communication. The spirit told me to live free and remain patient. Can be anything you can speak, that's got a mind stated. Love renovated, the deepest part of the sacred. I'm cool, smooth and awakened. I live true and elated. I'm activated and advocated for liberated minds. See the truth in their soul and then authenticate it. I feel the best way to be is just to demonstrate it. I feel the best way to see is fully captivated. Baby, the truth is I'm grown, you know the child gone. Ain't positive on my line, you get the dial tone. I'm just original me, this is now called. Feel the warm all in your chest, you are now home. I know the secret to see it, believe it, then receive it. We got a choice to conceive it, love is how we should breathe.
We embrace this love and feel more than something. It would be magical. It would be magical. We embrace this love and be more than something. It would be magical. It would be magical. It would be magical. It would be magical. Would be magical. Would be magical.
We always say at the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you remember I said, the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people.
Late for liberation to stand in this prison. Voices of my choices, ambiguous ambition. Roaming in the home of the fall, true spirit. Many say they answered the call, but don't hear it. It's the Black Messiah, made in love, here to grow. Fan the fire, so cold I make it snow. Call me sire, no fold in my soul. Expanding higher, as above, so below. Till my last breath, living cause I'm a lifer. 7 on the chest like easy money sniper. Essence of the crest shines and entice ya. Presence in the nation, they name it divine cipher. I've been gone, no intent of circling back. Generational curses, yeah, we working on that. ASAP, get the dough, call it Lucci. Nalo stay strapped like big snow round Gucci. More Panther parties, way less lamping. Flow until I'm dead, poet like Fred Hampton. Fished up, you know it's kinda scary. One time, I am a revolutionary. You know they fear it, but hear it in the booth. Fuck how you feel, you can't conceal the truth. A race war, nobody calling the truth. Letting it all hang, this the year of the nuke. Nalo.
Instant hit, critical. I keep it real, I don't really do subliminals. No, niggas say I fell off, how pitiful. I'm like, if I fell off, I landed on the pinnacle. Nowadays I'm cynical. Should I kill the game or let these lames in they lanes think they lyrical? By the time I figure it out, don't give a fuck. A nigga tried testing me, he out of luck. You can find me talking that rapper shit, capping then rapping about my dick, probably in some random chick. And I'll never call a woman a bitch unless she is, yo. Shit, she can still get it though. Everybody tell me you the GOAT, bro. I'm like, please tell me something that I don't know. I don't need love, I want head. Only thing I trust is God and his bread. Yeah, even Jesus had a Judas, Caesar had a Brutus, your heart got a Cupid. So if you fall in love, then you really just stupid. If you dash back for more, then you just clueless. Gemini gang, we really do this. Intellectual, but I go stupid. Dumb. It's the Black Messiah. If you're looking for the truth, homie, I'm your supplier.
Everything would be alright if everything was put back in the hands of the people. And we're going to have to put it back in the hands of the people. Now, we say all power to all people. We say white power to white people. Brown power to brown people. Yellow power to yellow people. Black power to black people. X power to those that we left out.
What a goddamn week, y'all. What a week for everyone involved. I know I shared what happened to me this week. I'm hearing news that other people went through. My friend just lost his new puppy that he bought. Around the time what happened with the car, with me getting pulled over, he got a flat tire. Another someone else I know ended their relationship. This has been quite the Mercury retrograde, my friends. Once again, I wanted to share my experience just to remind you you're not alone. You're never alone. And that, hold strong. Okay. As of current, we are beyond and past the 180 degrees. I'm going to mention the same in this next Magic Moon message, but just for an update for what happened to me this week, relative to this Mercury retrograde that's opposite Pluto. If you're wondering why this Mercury retrograde might be very intense, it's the opposition to and the influence of these malefics, as some people will say. But yeah, that being said, okay, I had started the week off getting into a mini car accident, and before I know it, I rent my car out. If anyone is familiar with Turo, you check in, right? You come to my city, you fucking check in. That's it. Sorry. You check in. It's a central feature in Turo. You're supposed to check in, let people know what the car looks like, you know, for more incidentals and stuff. The driver was just not very communicative, like really. Apparently there's a pool competition and whatnot. So I had reason to believe that the car is gone, the car is stolen. A lot of me driving back and forth to look at the footage and then driving recklessly to find my wallet is really pinned down to miscommunication, which I think is very amazing. But anyway, post me getting pulled over and my car getting towed, as you can see, we're past this 180 degrees, 17 degrees. We're going from 180 degrees to 270 degrees. Okay. This is the breakthrough point. So this is where we're peaking in intensity, and you stand down on your two and you fucking break through. Whether you're broken down or not, you break through. You let this collective unconscious frequency know that it is your bitch. You are not going to fold to it, and you fucking handle shit. Okay. The very next day, I got my vehicle back. They were telling me that I needed a moving permit because I don't currently have registration on my vehicle. And even though I had the title there, I needed a moving permit. I have mailed the DMV, right, my registration application, okay, a week ago. I have certified mail receipts that they received it on the 31st. By the way, my keyboard doesn't even work anymore. Like when I came back home from everything that happened, and Nicole, please email it to me at thepeacedealer@gmail.com. When I came home, my keyboard does not work. If I type shit into my keyboard, let me just type in something in my keyboard and show you how it works. I typed in "the fire is black," and I am here right now in the building. Boom. The shit is looking crazy. I can't type with this shit. This is the definition of Mercury retrograde. Okay. That being said, okay. They told me that I need a moving permit in order to get my car back. Okay. The DMV, who received both packets, I gave a money order for $200 in one of the packets because the insurance verification department hit me up like, you don't have insurance on your vehicle. So I gave them the packets, letting them know that I have my other security. I have an alternate security, as is by law. I cited the laws and everything. The DMV mailed me saying the insurance verification said, "We never received mail from you, so we've suspended your registration." Okay, so they're gonna get rid of the car in 45 days. They said I can't leave without a mailing permit. The DMV is saying this, right? So normally you would think, wow, these are crazy circumstances. And this is ridiculous. Like, how am I going to correspond with the DMV? I have to wait at least 2 months for an appointment. How am I going to correspond with the DMV? Right? I realized I realized who I am and what we're working with, and the work that I did through the past few years. Okay, so here's what happened. First of all, when I went there and they told me I needed a moving permit, I went to the towing company, same period. I didn't go and come back. I went there and I handed in a paper and I let them know this car is a private conveyance that's not for commercial use. And I have my title, I have my other security, and I have my passport card. If you're not going to release my car to me, I need you to put in writing what statutes and codes do not allow what I've provided to be satisfied, because I'm going to file at the district court. I had my packet ready. If I didn't get my car back, I would have been filing an injunction, a TRO, and a complaint to the 8th Judicial District Court of Nevada. The person behind was very polite, said, sure, right? Didn't even argue, read the paper, and then gave me my car back. I think I had to pay like $460, but I have now sent a demand in order for that to be refunded, because I only paid in order to get my car out the vehicle. The car never really had to be towed. So then I sent through registered mail 2 packets again to the DMV, letting them know, here, I have certified mail receipts that you've received both packages on the 31st. Fix that shit you're working on and please register my car. I did not allow the circumstances to get to me. I called the person who has my car, who hasn't been communicating. She picked up. She let me know that the car is fine and that she's going to return it tomorrow at 10 p.m. I said, you put 10 a.m. She said, oh, wow, that's crazy. Let me change it. Okay. So, and this is a Cancer woman. I don't know if it's like passive aggressiveness as far as I'm not going to do what you said. So I'm just going to, right. I don't know if she knows she's getting investigated right now because Turo contacted her and they couldn't reach her. So they think the car is missing. So I had to let her know, hey, you might want to contact Turo. She's still not taking pictures of the car, but I'm just operating off the assumption that it's going to be returned to me tomorrow. So all this miscommunication mishap is seemingly reaching its end. Not that there isn't going to be more. And Mercury retrograde, before we enter the end of next week, is going to finish its retrograde. So I'm saying this all to say, hold course, okay? As frustrating and irritating as this collective unconscious inversion and battle is with your own sovereignty and individuality, okay? And I don't mean like that sovereign citizen bullshit. I mean like your innate sovereignty, spirit, soul, mind, body, and how you interface with experiences in this life, not letting prejudice, bias, collectivism, and even individualism get in the way of what you know you are called to do for your life. Okay, thank you. It's definitely, I'm going to really go into the nature of this boss battle. As you can see, we are 2 weeks into this. We're finally at the 2-week point that's going to push us through for the rest of the next 3 to 6 months. 6 months from now, we're going to enact the next round of boss battles that will begin fighting the next year, 12 months from now. Okay. So with that being said, I just wanted to kind of update you guys on my situation, let you know that we're still pushing over here. Of course, I had lost my wallet, and thankfully I found my wallet that day. And that's what really helped me kind of push forward. But even if I lost my wallet, it is what it is. But yeah, we're going to talk about really the next 2 weeks, how everything you've activated and integrated the past 2 weeks are extremely harvesting. Okay. What we broke through and are breaking through is the activation and integration of supernatural talent. So we're going to have to time travel 6 months into the past so I can set up why this is very important and why the rest of the year is going to be like, the first half of the year is going to pale in comparison to the last half of the year. Okay. Like everything moving forward. Virgo season is going to reveal that a lot of you conspiracy theorists were actually right the whole time, and maybe not conspiracy theorists, more so than ever. And I want this word to be of encouragement. I think you are being gaslighted into being believed that people who are purposefully misunderstanding you and mischaracterizing you are just doing it for your benefit. And you need to stop being so defensive, because we're just trying to help you out, even though you never asked them. And if anything, they're imposing false presuppositions on you. So I want to make sure, how do you interpret the sextile aspect between Saturn and Neptune and sextile Uranus? This aspect right here is the most important aspect that we're going through. So CB, the question that you asked is a journey that's going to kick off next year, and I'll make sure I answer that. But I want to make sure that this is not just in my head. Yes, I heard about RFK. Everyone already knew that when the Died Suddenly documentary came out, and they try to act like, oh, that's all been debunked and stuff like that. But regardless, CB, we're going to talk about this. It's a major facet of what we're going through moving forward. Uranus in Gemini is iconic. Saturn and Neptune in Aries is a new world order. All right. So with that being said, I want to make sure this isn't in my head. Are you feeling it's been building since, last year, but strengthened since May. I want you to comment 100 if you feel at a collective sense, this sense of people trying to change you, this sense of people trying to fit you into their box, and taking everything you're succeeding in and acting like it's not really a success relative to their standards, and putting you in a position to feel like you're the bad person for defending what you're building and what you're doing. Because I want to let you know you're not alone, and this is the boss battle. This is a huge element of the boss battle. This is an extension of your individuality bridging socially out to the collective, where you're going against an entire collective that wants to tell you who you are. That's why Saturn and Neptune is so important in Aries, because you are reimagining and redefining your individuality and character. And that's why I'm telling you this story. I'm telling you, no matter what circumstances break through, I have the Ultimate Manifestation playlist down below. Don't let this influence try and sun you or make you its bitch. You have to go out of your way to make it your bitch. And I'm saying your bitch and bitch educationally, not derogatively. Okay. Just like WLB and SLB. So with that being said, I need you to know that you're fucking killing. The very fact that you're standing your ground, the whole point of the first 2 weeks was to adjust and recalibrate your strength. How do you stand against pressure like that? This full moon coming into completion is getting ready to turn everything around before we go into Virgo season, and literally everything fucking changes for real. Okay. And this is the effect of your strength calibration. If you're weak as fuck and you folded, right? For people who folded, you let this collective pressure get to you, and you understand you're being mercilessly gaslighted. The only way that this is real is if you are lacking in integrity and you're not being honest about certain facets of yourself. Some of you are hyper conscious about the good, the bad, and the ugly about yourself, and you've integrated it and you work it in your own way that does not have to align to the colloquial or normative structure of most society. Some other people, or this collective influence, is taking and highlighting what they see as bad and diminishing how it plays in with other facets, doing everything they can to pretty much induce shame and guilt, because they want to put you in their frame so they can manipulate you. I've been talking about the whole mechanics of frame wars and frame mechanics. In order for me to manipulate you, I have to establish a frame. And within that frame, with descriptics where I say this is this and this is this, I can start to induce based on presuppositions of certain things that are true. But if they're not true, then that means that I can't really manipulate you because it doesn't affect you. And what you guys are doing, are you establishing true frames built on something real? So when people try and reframe, it's hard for them to establish what the situation is, because you know yourself as someone outside of their frame of understanding. So now, oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, you only think about yourself. Oh, and it's not really that. It's that you refuse to be the idea of you that someone has versus being who you really are. And the proof of this is that when it comes time to demonstrate what they're saying, they resort to name calling, they resort to manipulation. They cannot demonstrate based in reality that you are doing anything wrong that they're trying to project that you're doing. For people who are doing stuff wrong, they can easily demonstrate, hey, you have a horrible drinking problem. You really need to stop drinking. Look, boom, you literally just hit my car. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. People are trying to trap you up in hypothetical, mental, indirect bullshit that only lets them know they don't fucking know you. They don't know what you do. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know the work you've put in. They only know what you've shown them and what they're seeing from the outside looking in. And this is a very predatory, unconscious, and collective element that in its entitlement feels like it knows better for you. And this is where you have to make it your bitch. Okay, so how this full moon fit into all this? You're breaking through that. Over the next week and a half, as I will explain, you are breaking through the upper half of supernatural qualities and abilities that are going to put you in a position to now prepare for the eclipse in Virgo, where you're going to change your life forever relative to everything in March that you believed you can live. This is huge. Okay, so I want to really set this up a little bit more, especially for those of you who commented 100. This is the boss battle sequence that's going to intensify over the next 20 years. And the first 2 weeks of this was to really see who is going to fold and who makes the ops fold. For those of you who commented 100, you had the audacity to stand your ground in the face of those who are trying to insult you because you won't let them manipulate you. That is all that is. People are going to wrap rhetoric and reasoning around why you will not let them diminish anything good you do so that you can fit into their frame of understanding. That's a weakling. People who are powerful demonstrate it, and people who are strong recognize the strong. People who are weak engage in these manipulative tactics because they cannot withstand the pressure that is being expressed to them, so they just project it towards other people. It's a 20-year cycle happening every 6 months. Okay, so yeah, the last boss battle sequence was from 2008 to 2024, so it was several years. This is just intensifying it. For those of you who commented 100, if you didn't have integrity, they would demonstrate this. You're commenting 100 because when it comes time for them to demonstrate, like they're letting you know what it is based off of their beliefs, based off their belief systems that don't apply to you. And because it doesn't, like they're used to being able to influence a lot of people with this, because most people either fit in that or don't understand who they are. So when it doesn't work on you, it reveals to them that their power is just an illusion, and that makes them uneasy, and they start projecting on you. It's very easy to gaslight. I don't want to overuse the word gaslight, but it's very easy to give the impression that, oh, feign ignorance. Oh, you're just being crazy. You know what you're talking about. And the reason why that's very important is it's easily provable. And everything that you're seeing, you're going to see this for real in Virgo season. So the dynamic that you've been seeing all year of people's inability to actually demonstrate this for real, you're going to experience this Virgo season. And that's why it's very important to step into it, not folding. Because you won't fold, you are picking up, whether through psychic attack, people's behaviors, or directly people insulting you, revealing their true colors, because they were being fake the whole time. They only really wanted to interact with you relative to how much leverage they can keep over you. And when you won't do that for them, you're really going to see indirectly and directly who they are. Okay. Especially because you're getting ready to break through like never before. And they hate the fact that you're breaking through and evolving possibly in a place higher than them, or in a way that they wish that they can do. They can never walk your path. That's why they try to talk about that and demonstrate there's nothing they know about your path. So there's fear manipulation here. The unconscious facets of yourself are also being projected to you to see how it is you deal with it. Do you give in and fold to that fear, or do you confront it head on? This unconscious subjective experience can interlap and play out through other people. And this is why you don't want to project it like it's you versus that other person versus what that other person has to show you. What they do to you is their karma. So you don't have to worry about that. How you respond to them is your karma. So really, really, really keep that in mind, because you're breaking through this. If you commented 100, because you've rid yourself of this fear, you're going to not only get ready to turn everything around, especially with the Mars opposition that is now coming into Saturn Neptune and stabilize this, but you're going to really prepare to end this year strong. And it's because when the entire world unconsciously was testing to see if you're really about who you say you are, and you're going to give in to pressure because of their disbelief, you showed the universe that if no one else believes in you, you will still stand proud on who you know yourself to be. That's 1 degree Aries. This is how we're starting this shit off. This is how this movie starts. You have people who need that confirmation and respect from other people. You respect yourself. So you know that if someone doesn't respect you, your respect is to be earned. They haven't earned your respect. You earned your own respect. That's the whole ethics of Saturn. That's why when we talk about Saturn and Uranus, which is going to radically now express this in unconventional ways that science is not yet caught up to, it has to be based on this powerful integrity, Saturn Aries, on who you are. Because Saturn and Pisces revealed since 2023, a lot of people's belief systems are fugazi. A lot of people believe in religious systems that were basically just given to them at birth and conditioned them to think the way they do now. But there's really no substance in it. A lot of it is watered down. And really, it doesn't matter so much that as much as how you practice it. I've met Muslims, Christians, Buddhists with integrity. So it's not necessarily that what they say has to be perfect. It's how you practice it. How is it that what you believe, you practice what you preach? And a lot of people didn't really make it through Saturn and Pisces. They got exposed for putting out one image, but they don't really back it up. Saturn is testing the system of your beliefs. So now that it's in Aries, people who do not have solid belief systems, it's breaking through into how they can't back up their character, how they cannot face pressure. It's not about not being able to handle criticism. When criticism is actually constructive and not used to manipulate you out of your power to give it away, then it's actually worth considering. But you're not being defensive as it is that you're preserving and protecting your own integrity. Even if in Aries in its fall, it looks savage, it looks unfiltered, and you're calling all sorts of people bitches because they're being stupid little bitches. All right. So first of all, congratulations. The fact that you're here still kicking and strong and you haven't folded, look at me. You have won. There is going to be possibly insurmountable difficulty that the entire world will go through moving forward, because you've shown yourself these first 2 weeks that you have what it takes to stand on your own and healthily be proud of what you've accomplished. Even if more often than not, other people want to act like it's nothing, you can't provide anything with this, you haven't done anything with this, means that you've made it. You have a fundamental core within you that's going to make it very significant and build. As this gets stronger, you will get stronger. The biggest mistake you could do is expect yourself to be at a certain level you have not gotten to yet. Give yourself time. Do not let other people act like it had to happen yesterday. You're still doing it. Okay, this is the most important thing, because this breakthrough week is going to ruin a lot of people who really are in it for the wrong reasons and have not centered their own core in integrity. Okay. So that being said, you being honest with yourself, you understand I want to make sure it's clear. Anyone who's not at integrity, it's been demonstrated. For those of you who you know your integrity and no one around you outside of what they believe you should do or what their idea of you is can demonstrate in reality how what you're doing is whatever they say. Okay. The only reason you're feeling negativity is because you're not allowing this influence to manipulate you, and they're crying because of it, and they're making it your problem. Your mission is to not make that your problem. Keep that their problem. That's number one. Number two, when I was talking about frames, let me give you an idea of this. Obviously, if you're having an abortion, it's because you're a baby murderer. Okay, you just kill babies. Boom, that's a frame. So this is an example of one of the most popular frame wars of all time. No, we're not killing babies. We have a choice. Boom, that's a reframe. This argument has never got past the reframe stage. That's what a typical frame war looks like. No, you're not making a choice. You're killing babies. No, I'm making a choice. No, I can't. That's what's happening to you. I just showed you one layer. Now imagine this on like an infinite amount of layers that is happening to you collectively. And you are maintaining your center through the pressure in order to break through and become a diamond. Okay. And if you did not stay in integrity with your belief systems, you know everything you believe. You know everything that you've translated into real habits that reflect what you believe. So this is why it's so easy for you to spot who's trying to manipulate you, who's trying to tell you stuff about yourself that you know isn't you, but they want you to think is you. So that if I can convince you that you do have a problem, then I can actually influence you relative to, well, you should work on this problem. But if you say you don't have a problem and you do, you're just in denial. But if you say you don't have a problem and no one around you can demonstrate that you have a problem based in reality, and it's just their opinion, you're being manipulated. If there's someone's trying to manipulate you, and that's where your maintenance of this frame, because they couldn't get you to break, stop that. Now this collective force is going, this collective unconscious essence or energy is going to try and make you feel guilty or shame. No one can make you feel anything, but that's what you might be feeling. So all you have to do is break through that. And then once we get into Virgo season in 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks and a half, everything is going to begin to really change to where you start to step more into this breakthrough. So the overall message right now is to stand strong and do not give up. Keep building the momentum of what it is you've built. And now that we've gotten that out the way, I wanted to get out this Pluto understanding. We're gonna go more into what that signifies, but I wanted you to know that this supernatural, psychic, telepathic, because it's more than just telepathy. This is telepathy at a cosmic level. So this is Uranus and Gemini. I want you to think that Saturn, if telepathy was like phone lines, and your brain emits frequencies and receives frequency inputs, right? That tunes in what you hear, right? There's new power lines that are collectively being built. Saturn 2021 and 2023 installed these new power lines. Pluto is now awakening this new type of energy. All right. And this is what through this period is having you tap into perceiving collective insight, listening to what people might be thinking. What Uranus and Gemini is doing from 2032 is it's innovating these power lines. So it's having these occurrences be more instantaneous. And that's where Saturn and Neptune is structuring this integrity of character. Because if you don't know who you are, you're going to go fucking insane. If you have a flood of other people's ideas and mindsets literally fighting to warp you and like a agent of the matrix make you its own, if you do not have a core individuality, you're going to just become another agent of the matrix, puppeting someone else's ideas, beliefs, copying their mannerisms and habits. Can you really say that's you? And this is why I'm saying a lot of people did not make it here. They're not the individual they were before. They've allowed other people to tell them and define who they are. And they're in effect, in essence, a form of dead. Now, the walking dead. Now with Saturn, right? With Saturn in Aries, for those of you who are able to maintain that, that's going to be the rally line with which now Pluto flows through Saturn and through Gemini to, as we now get Jupiter and Leo and like really build out this social circuit, create and carve this new world. And that's why Gen Z is one of the most important generations. That's why like Generation X and the millennials, we're getting through our karma so that now Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta can create this new world. Really, Gen Z can create this new world. Gen Alpha can rule it, and Gen Beta could be openly diabolical, evil geniuses. I mean, baby geniuses, and really inspire like the new, like the generation of superstars is Gen Beta. Generation Beta is going to innovate celebrity culture like it's never been innovated. The way they do like influence and celebrity stuff, being born at the aftermath of what we're experiencing, is going to be very interesting. It's a little speculation I'll put out there. So, and this is all based on a new world being created. So, of course, if you're Gen X, if you're born in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, you're like the Jiraiya's and the Kakashis who are here to like guide the way for Naruto's generation and Boruto's generation. If that makes sense, I had to use an anime analogy. Okay, and this full moon is such a turning point in the middle point of the second season of summer where things are heating up. Okay, Gen Beta is Pluto Aqua. Gen Beta is Pluto Aqua. Gen Alpha is Pluto Capricorn. Gen Z is Pluto Sagittarius. All right, that's exactly what I was talking about. So with that being said, if you're willing to brave through, okay, this collective unconscious boss battle sequence between the heart of your own individuality and the collective hive mind that seeks to absorb you into it while maintaining your individuality, then this is a good 2-week sneak peek of how things may intensify, but you've already established you got that in you. You got what you need in you to get through it and not let circumstances externally, whether due in part directly or indirectly by your own actions and or other people, get to you. You're able to rectify it, deal with it, and move forward. Now, I wanted to get that out the way because, first of all, this is the full moon. We're harvesting. So the intentions that you put in for 2 weeks, we're going to do a very quick ritual at the end of me breaking down these planets. And, it's just to release the intentions. The whole ritual we're going to do is know you got it. That's it. What do you know that you have succeeded at, achieved? What do you know that you are really breaking through in? All you have to do is move forward out of this knowing for literally a week. And I'm going to break that down. Okay. That being said, the synchronization of synchronicity has been crazy. That being said, guys, what I want to realistically kind of break down. Let me get some. What I want to establish and illustrate, right? Now that we've gotten this out the way, okay? Oh, shit. That's wild. All right. What I wanted to establish is Now that we've gotten, is knowing greater than faith? Great question. So what we see is that Pisces comes after Aquarius. Okay. So knowledge is power. But like Albert Einstein said, the only thing greater than knowledge is imagination. So Pisces coming after Aquarius means that faith and belief is the ultimate, but knowledge, Aquarius preceding, you know, Pisces, still speaks of the importance of knowing. Knowing enables you to believe in a much better way versus just having blind faith. Not that blind faith is personally bad. And when you only have faith, it can leave you susceptible to deception. So belief really through Pisces loops and closes the reasoning so we can retest it in Gemini, gain greater analysis to confirm the theory or belief, and keep doing it till we do. But all that is faith driven, because you have to have the faith that at some point you'll get a conclusion to that experiment. And that's what drives knowledge. Delusion drives innovation. And other than that, now that we've gotten the, of course, potential challenges out the way, which we'll still highlight, let's talk about the good shit. Now, when I say you're breaking through supernatural talents, they're moving. Once we get to Virgo, you're going to practically break down in a very analytical way how specifically to form techniques and habits around new abilities and talents you've broken through. The synchronization of your mind, spirit, and your body through your soul is breaking through in a way that is producing superpowers, supernatural abilities. This is cool because through the end of Pluto Capricorn 2020 to 2024, that apocalypse cycle was a sneak peek to dawn. Hey, there's more to your humanity and consciousness than you were taught. Science is yet to catch up about this. You're seeing science actually starting to catch up a little bit. And the reason why it's very important is you're breaking out of a paradigm that has taken something like magic, especially with its mysteries, and relegated it to a fantasy or science fiction. You've been conditioned to believe that certain aspects aren't through. I'll pull a lounge. I got the car back, bro. I was able to get it from the towing impound. But like you've been brought to believe that like certain aspects and facets of supernatural qualities that are normal to you don't really exist. And a lot of Pluto coming out of Cap and Uranus coming out of Taurus was actually geared towards giving you real basis of you being able to perform miracles thaumaturgically, however you want to say. Now, because Uranus is in Gemini and Saturn is in Neptune is in Aries, it's in your face now. The synchronicities are louder now. And I don't want to say synchronicities, your synchronization. Okay. The synchronization between what your spirit as an intangible essence picks up and how your physical body with your brain that can only process so much overlaps and interlaps between the possible and the impossible. So we're getting ready coming into next year to fully break into that. This is where people who are folding to old perspectives aren't going to really encapsulate that facet of your potential. And this is what brings into this boss battle, because many of you are doubling down on gifts you've been given and may not make sense to other people because it's a mystery that's only available to you. Some of these mysteries that you have access to surpass the current sciences of this age. And you may not necessarily have the technical know-how or literature to put that into words, even though you can demonstrate it readily. So this is why you're not allowing people who don't nearly have the experience doing what you're doing to tell you how to do what you do or to change what you're doing. This is why you're being hit with passive aggressive attempts to starve you or to try and remove any respect or goodwill through this, which is the universe's way of testing whether that's what you feel you need. Some of you doubled down and you're like, look, I don't need you bitches. If your support was fake anyway, I don't ever want it back. I'm still going. You're not the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm meant to do it, because I want to do it, because this is what I'm doing. And you're reflecting that through your actions. You're not letting the external environment stop what you're doing, affect you emotionally. Your actions are its own affirmation. You have decided where your path is heading. And this is where, like in a video game, you have those who are trying to desperately get you off this path because they've seen who you're going to be. They have an idea and feel what you're going to do, whether they're not even fully aware of it or not. If they can get you off that path, if I just told you who I thought I was. Oh God, if they can reframe how you think about yourself because it makes them uncomfortable, then they have won. Are you going to let idiots win over you? This is so very important. For those of you who are prepared, this is important because now that we're at the full moon, the sun is opposite Pluto. The moon just conjuncted Pluto. So now there is a extremely advanced supernatural understanding that as the moon goes into Pisces, you're going to come into a divine experience of, almost as if Aquarius put in higher cosmic coding. And once it goes into Pisces, you're simulating what that coding produces. All right. This is going to change everything you believe because you didn't fucking fold. And this is like your reward. You're breaking through into rewards. You're light. And yes, why this is very important is provided you're doing what you know you're meant to do to stand and align to your integrity, right? You're coming into an unbreakable sense of yourself that does not convenience those who want to have leverage over you in any way, directly or indirectly. And this is you kicking their ass without even having to do anything. So when you're outnumbered in this sense, they take your victory and make it look like a loss. They're diminishing your victory. They're diminishing victory you've already had, trying to act like you didn't have the victory. They're in denial. That's why they say you're in denial. They're desperate. That's why they say you're desperate. They're miserable, but you can demonstrate you're happy. They cannot demonstrate they're not miserable. This is a projection. Your very presence is having others act irrationally because you're not getting with their program. They cannot compute it. Okay. So why this is difficult for me to say is there is an entire breakthrough through your capability that once we step into Virgo season, you're going to see an entirely real basis for things you're doing that you were told since birth are not possible to do. But many of you have made it through the jaws of death. Many of you have made it where everyone told you wouldn't even still be here. So you've already been there, done that. Whereas for other people, they're not going to believe that you're still kicking or you're still doing something or you actually have been working on something that's actually breaking through. Okay. The way I want to say this is you are awakening a breakthrough of supernatural talents, the like with which you've never seen. That means that since you were born, you have developed talents that operate seemingly off of a physical basis. This could be juggling. This could be running. This could be teaching. This could be communication and speaking, oration. This could be business. This could be organizing, analyzing. You have a series of talents or one main talent. Now you are awakening the supernatural quality and nature of this, and it's already happening in front of our faces. You are awakening the supernatural quality of talents that you might have looked at as mundane. And you are also awakening, because you're seeing who you are more than you've ever seen, an understanding of yourself that takes you outside the principles and the understanding that you may have been raised through because you have outgrown them. As it tries to bucket it, crab in a barrel, bag you back. Okay. So you're going to apply this knowing into breaking through the demonstration of this. It's important to understand this next week through is victory. You're harvesting, and then we're going to complete this. Okay. And why this is important with Uranus and Gemini is that unlike Uranus that was in Taurus, which was not really visible, you're going to start to see affected in your reality these dynamics in a way with which you have never seen ever in your life before. And this is a sneak peek to what's going to be building moving forward. Now, why this is important is because when the moon was in Sagittarius a few days ago, you were in a position, of course, to show yourself what these talents look like. Yeah. You were showing yourself what they look like, and I'm going to give you an expression of that. Okay, so basically, 2 days ago, or not 2 days ago, a few days ago, when we had the moon in Sagittarius, the moon in Sagittarius was a full-on expression showing you what your talents look like. Okay. And what had occurred? What was an example of this? Supernatural talents, right? This probably might look like a coincidence or bullshit to some of you guys, so I don't take offense. All right. This isn't for me to brag. This isn't for me to try and make light of a serious experience. If I'm telling you that, oh, you're breaking through supernatural talents, I have to practice what I preach. You know what I'm saying? I can't say you're awakening superpowers and I don't give you receipts, right? So I had done the magic moon message. I was like, okay, guys, you're going to see during this period, which was, of course, the August 4th and 5th, 3rd and 4th, you're breaking through your supernatural talents, guys. You're going to see what they look like. You're going to see what you've activated and what they look like. So what I did, because I was coming into a lot of collective frequency, I had to demonstrate what it is. So I had burned Venus paper and a Mars paper. You know how I like to do predictions. I predicted deaths many times before. I was like, 2 people are going to die the next day. 2 people are going to die the next day. And I'm not just going to be vague. It's going to be 1 male. It's going to be 1 female. I put Venus for the representation. I put Mars for the representation. Okay. I did Mars first and then I did Venus, right? So I want to kind of show you really quick. Venus, of course, rules fashion design, interior decorating, makeup artistry, roles in the entertainment industry, you know, like an actress. Oh my God, stop. No. And then of course, if you look at Mars, Mars is going to have, like, of course, right? Fitness, physically demanding roles. You know, Mars can also be firefighters, first responders, all right, police officers, okay? Now, why is this important? Because, of course, what had happened was, right, what I had done when I had burned those papers, I put out there, right, at 2:42 a.m., 1 male, 1 female. Then I let the day go by. And then, of course, I looked up, 2 or 3 people had died, right? A sergeant died at around like 5 something. As you can see, this was 6:27 a.m. Okay. And then the actress, Kelly Mackey, this was 7:40. This was 7:40. Oh, no. Well, as you can see, this was, of course, August 5th as well. And like I said, what was the purpose? What was the purpose of Leo season? The purpose that we established for Leo season was proof of concept. Okay. So as you can see, Mars, Sergeant, Venus, actress. You can call that a reach. That's not a flex. And in all seriousness, rest in peace to those 2. I'm not going to say I killed them. No. This, if anything, was just me practicing my prediction, right? And I demonstrated to myself in whatever way that, okay, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of how this is starting to look like. When I do experiments like this, that's to showcase that if I can do this, this is an ability that everyone has the ability to do, to be able to discern and maybe like understand what might happen before it happens, right? In a certain creative way, kind of whatever. It's kind of like I'm going to see a yellow car and then you see a yellow car, right? So the reason why I'm sharing that is the way that I demonstrated that, you demonstrated to yourself how your talents are breaking through. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You could have kicked an addiction and a habit cold turkey, right? Results are repeatable, right? You might have been in a position to completely, change your life, or maybe you started a new habit, right? This could be, in a sense, supernatural as well. So why I'm sharing this is establishing that is very important. It's letting you know that this isn't just in your head. It's not, I'm sure in a certain way, I could look fucking crazy right now. Both could be true. Right. But I wanted to show you that as an example to let you know that I'm practicing what I preach. You know what I mean? And we are all in this together. OK, getting rid of addiction, latte addiction, this reawakening, especially if you've watched Solo Leveling. This reawakening is going to really change the way you interface with this simulation. And what this is getting ready to do through Virgo season is change the way in preparation for Libra, you apply everything you're awakening to yourself towards relationships with other people. The fact that, and now you see how the nature of what I showed you still could be a little bit vague. I wanted to show you that how Pluto is 2 degrees, how Saturn is 1 degree. It's still in a development phase, even the way in which I express it. Right? Once we get to the end of these degrees, they're going to be fully mastered. You're coming into a higher level of how much clearer it is. Through Virgo season, you're going to perfect this. What it is you're breaking through, of course, passionately, holding intention of being mutually supported. So I wanted to show you that because it's real in the field. And especially a lot of how it is, you text me this, Joyce, especially relative to how it is, you are accepting realizations of who you are and you're awakening to. It's going to really help you brave the rest of the year and hook you up. Now, let's actually go into a solid an analytical breakdown of the charts, because I want you to be excited. If you've commented 100 before, and for those of you who are just joining, I want you to comment 100 if you felt the collective unconscious. Let me summarize. Trying to do better for you, but they don't know who you are. They're trying to tell you how to live your life and do what you do. And because you won't allow yourself to be manipulated, they're trying. It's literally, it feels like a major label wants to sign you, but you won't sign to that major label. So they're trying to blackball you. It's like, oh, look, we want you to be like us. We want you to join our organization, but you can't do this. You can't talk about this. You can't really practice this. And you were like, fuck you and your organization. I'm going to maintain what I'm doing. I'm just going to be independent. And now, because you will not sign to them, they're trying to go to other relationships. I should have used this analogy. This makes so much better sense. They're trying to tell people, oh, you're hard to work with. Oh, they're trying to blackball you. They're trying to kind of get you away from certain opportunities. And that's where I'm saying most people would fold and take the shitty deal. Most people will come back and say, you know what? I do want to join now. And now they're going to give you a shittier deal than they offered because they did all this. Most people would fold and just take the settlement instead of fight for it and take it to court, or instead of actually just going independent anyway, whether you're blackballed or not. That honest, this is why Tory Lanez got literally stabbed like 10 times. Like that, this is the boss battle that's occurring. And if you're a Leo, even more so. This is the boss battle that's occurring collectively. Except what people are signing are your supernatural abilities and the way it is with which you identify yourself. Hey, we don't want you to say you're a starseed. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to really do this new age bullshit. Like, just say you're just kind of say you're this gender, say you're this, and just, you know, these people are religious, so we want you to appeal to their sensitivity. Like, for you know what I mean? For some of you, oh, we don't really want you to talk about Allah and to really do your Muslim religion. We don't really want you to talk about Jesus. You can't really say Christ on this track. Like, it doesn't really matter what you're from. How are you standing on what you believe? Especially if you've been preaching it for the last few years. Like, you can believe in a religion that I disagree with, but how do you have integrity in it? Are you folding when you have integrity? And it doesn't matter if I or other people believe in what you believe. It's between you and God anyway. It matters on what integrity have you established on this path. Are you letting everyone around you make you fold? This is why Ye is one of the goats, or the goat. Stay crazy. And that's what they're going to call you. They're going to call you crazy. They're going to say you're insane. They're going to say you're this because you're not doing what they want you to do. You're not saying what they want you to say. You're not believing and behaving the way they want you to believe and behave. And if you have a weak fucking mind, you're going to let this negative energy being projected at you change you and break you. But you took all of this work to get to where you are. So all you have to do is stand on your truth, in your truth, knowing that what got you here will get you through it. Literally. All we're asking for is self-integrity, self-respect. Saturn is respect. Aries is yourself. We want self-respect. Okay. Self-respect. They're transgalactophobic. Self-respect is not allowing others who demonstrate they don't know you to tell you what to do, to tell you what to be, to tell you what to say. Self-respect is not allowing yourself to be bought in order to become a bot and not stand on your own. I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck about being fucking shadow banned or blacklisted. You're not going to stop. Like, I'm going to be completely real. I'm dropping these videos. I'm dropping these lives. I'm sure on Instagram, I have at most like 12 people watching, right? Thankfully, we have 192 on YouTube. I'm going to keep building YouTube. I have 50,000 subscribers, y'all. I get at most, like, on average, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views. Even these new videos that I'm dropping, right? They were barely getting any comments. They're barely getting any views. I also don't run promotion, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, compared to what I was getting before, like, is a considerable drop off. Like, it feels like no one's fucking with my shit. But do you know why I don't care? Because I know real recognize real. I know all the real people who support me are still supporting me. And I know that what I'm putting out is real and of value. So, like, I'm not fazed by the numbers. I know people say, you know, if you're not making money, you say that it's not about the money. It's really not about the money for me. When I say that it's not about the money, I mean, unlike other people who will not speak on a certain topic or who won't necessarily do something because they're so afraid of getting demonetized. It's not about the money for me, gang. I don't give a fuck. That's not going to stop me from doing it. That's not going to influence my decision of putting in work to something because I'm not necessarily going to get paid in a certain way. Nobody can influence or pay for my opinion is what I mean when I say it's not about the money. I cannot be swayed by cash. I cannot be swayed by the prospect of lost earnings. I don't put that over myself. That's self-respect. It's called an opportunity cost. Okay. And I know all of you real ones, you fuck with me. And that's why I'm saying quality over quantity. And I'm just going to keep producing. The reason why I'm saying this is I know I'm not the only one in this position. I don't want to complain. I'm very grateful for what I built. I didn't say all that to say that I deserve more views, or I deserve more, whatever. I'm saying this to say, if you're in a similar situation, you can never let that shit get to you. You're either it's not about what you should do. You're either just going to keep on going and keep on producing, or you're going to quit, or you're going to stop because you're doing this shit for views and clicks. There's so much I can do to improve on what I'm working on. And there's so much that I can do to change what I want if I want different results. But I'm not focused on results. I'm focused on doing what I'm already doing, maintaining that shit and pushing forward. Okay. And that's what's more important, all right, than ever. And there's nothing wrong with getting paid, by the way. There's nothing wrong with taking deals that align with your integrity. I'm not trying to say don't sign the deal. I'm trying to say don't lose yourself signing a deal just because you're going to get respect. And so this is the energy I'm picking up. It's like someone is trying to like gaslight you into like giving away your power so that you can gain their respect. They're leveraging their respect, y'all. And because you won't fold, now they're saying, oh, they don't respect you. This is a nothing burger. It's a false frame. It's actually creating a problem where there's nothing in order to use it to manipulate you and using the power of pressure and numbers to try and get you to fold. And this is why some of you are stuck. Some of you are stuck right now because you're thinking there's anything you have to do. That's the illusion that's presented to you. The people who are acting like you have stuff to prove to them, they have not proved anything to you. That's why this tension exists. They're projecting it on you. So for those of you who are stuck and you're figuring out what I can do, the reason you feel stuck is because you don't recognize you're already doing it. You're being made to feel like a challenger when you're dealing with people challenging your position. So the reason why you might feel stuck is because you standing your ground and not letting others shift you, that's what you're supposed to do. You're doing it already. But if I can trick you into thinking you're the challenger and you have to run through hoops, you're going to give your power away to me. You're not going to recognize the victory I'm jealous of you for having. And that way I can satisfy my misery by taking it out on you. That's why I'm saying don't give into a force like that. Make that force your bitch and be disrespectful. Use all sorts of expletives and don't even give them a second to think that you can enable them to believe that anything they're saying means anything or is important, because these same influences leveraging, oh, well, we won't respect you. They cannot demonstrate that they know you. They cannot demonstrate that they know a thing about you. And these are the influences that are saying everything behind your back about you because they're terrified to do or say it to you. They know you're like that. They know your spirit team is like that because they've tried to send black magic and the shit got clapped back immediately. I'm using a collective they, so they can apply to so many different people. You don't have to really think about someone in your head, but like, yes. So just keep that in mind. They is anyone or any archetype that makes the conscientious decision to act and behave as if you are less than you deserve. As you are anyone who operates with you under the assumption that you are less than you are is a they ass bitch. A weak little bitch. Okay. So I wanted to get that out the way. The fact that you have made this here to this point means you've done everything you've had to do. Now, all you have to do is now maintain this as you break through. Do not give up while it's the most difficult. Break through. So now, how do we want to break this down? Here's the dopest thing about why you want to get excited about this transit. First of all, let's honestly go back 2 weeks. And let me show this again for those of you who want to understand. We have new and full moon cycles every 2 weeks. So if we go back 2 weeks from this full moon, right? Boom. We have the new moon, of course, in Leo. Okay. So this was what really kicked off this Leo season. All right. And you guys are why I do this, man. You guys are the shit. You guys remind me that there's merit to this here and that we're really breaking through something from the ground. Okay. I think a lot of what you guys have been dealing with are people trying to assert their subjective morality, conflating it to be anything objective. That's another tactic. When people can't get you rationally, they start to institute irrational methods to look rational. But if you really listen to what they're saying, they cannot demonstrate it. This is why demonstration is very important. Okay. So this is what we started the season off with. We need to go back 6 months. Now, 6 months ago was where we activated the first pillar. As you can see, Saturn and Neptune are still in Pisces and Uranus is still in Taurus. What Pluto and Aquarius represents is the end of the Pluto Capricorn boss battle series since 2008. This is the awakening of the Force Star Wars. Okay. Now, the reason why this is important is Jupiter has been expanding our mindset and our brain function and the way we think. After we activated this supernatural energy, which we're going to have this conjunction 19 more times, then we had the eclipse in Pisces. The eclipse in Pisces set up everything we're going to experience a month from now. And that's why every season up until then is so important. This is the hard range. Once we get into Leo season, this is going to flip entirely. Once we get into Libra season, it's going to flip entirely. You're going to be breaking through. So we had to go through this hard part, which was to bring up the fundamental building blocks of a new world we're going to step into. And why is that important? Because as you can see, the eclipse we had here, totality, transcendence, Pisces beliefs, North Node destiny. Everything you were destined to believe you can be was tested to make sure it's sustainable and it doesn't fall apart under pressure. This is why people who just decided to stay delusional didn't pass the test and they're breaking apart and folding. Versus if you did the hard work to call your own self out on where maybe your beliefs don't really apply and you actually integrated it for better and for worse. You're taking the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now you're not folding. This is very, very, very important. This is sustaining. It's the sneak peek. This had to sneak peek in Aries, and I'm going to show you why. Because check this out. Okay. Of course, everything you're believing could be possible for you here coming into late February, March. When we come into Virgo season 6 months from then, it's going to be very real. That's the whole point of returning beliefs into behavioral patterns through the mindset that's innovating right now. Okay, so that was the important thing about Pisces season. And what did that lead us into, y'all? Aries. This is where now through Aries season, by the time we got into Taurus, Saturn and Neptune were coming out of Pisces. Now, why is this important? Because as you can see, we did not have a Sun conjunct Saturn in Aries yet. Saturn is in Aries, but we had the Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces. We're closing out the old cycle. It's phasing out. Okay. So as you can see, by the time we step into Taurus season, now, Gemini season, Saturn. Oh my God, no, it's actually Cancer season. By the time we step into Cancer season, Saturn and Neptune are in Aries. Okay, now Saturn and Neptune in Aries is the new world order. The last time Neptune was in Aries, America was in civil war. Facts. Now, why this is important is because Neptune and Saturn are reimagining the character. It's reimagining the face. It's happening in every country. This is what America looks like. You're not American. This is what America's supposed to look like the face of what establishes the land, right? But also who you are. What does it mean to be an individual? What does it mean to be a human? What does it mean to have a consciousness, right? Now, Saturn coming into Aries is not only reinstituting a cycle, it's giving you a sneak peek of what this new world mechanic is. And why is this important? Because as we go back in time a little bit, right? As you can see, this Aries season, Saturn was still in, of course, Pisces. In a year from now, in 2026, we have had the Sun-Saturn conjunction in Aries. Everything that you are going through right now is preparing you for 2026. 2024 and 2025 is establishing the end of the cycle and then phasing out the old world with the new world. So we ended it 24, 25. We're coming out the old world. Here's some new world shit. Now we're retrograding. We're phasing it out. And then boom, 2026, we officially start the new cycle after we had another Sun Pluto. And then, of course, we're officially going to have the very first Sun Uranus, Gemini. Boom. All three portals are stars. So CB had asked, what is this Uranus-Saturn conjunction? First of all, or sextile, Uranus conjuncted, or rather, Saturn was conjunct Uranus. We have to look at the last time Saturn was conjunct Uranus. The last time Saturn was conjunct Uranus was 1988. Really contemplate that. The last time Saturn was on top of Uranus was 1988 in Capricorn. Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune in Capricorn. Okay. So Saturn is actually completing, because it's a faster transiting planet than Uranus, as Uranus has a wider orbit around the Earth, the sun rather. Saturn is concluding its transit to meet with Uranus again. The last time it met in Uranus was coming out of Sagittarius. They initially conjuncted in Sagittarius and then went into Capricorn together. Now Saturn is going to meet Uranus, of course, 7 years from now, coming out of Gemini and going into Pisces together. See, this is the next time Saturn is going to meet Uranus. So Saturn, that is completing its Uranian cycle. And this is what adds concreteness to the innovative nature of not only expression of supernatural abilities, but how we are also initiating a brand new cycle individually. Okay. And in way to create a whole new type of society with integrated technology, if we go back 27 years ago, this is where we see, of course, 2005. Oh, it was definitely more than 30 years ago. If we go back 9 years ago, once again, this is 96. Saturn was last in Aries. And I just wanted to show you that. This is the last time Saturn was, of course, on Uranus. And as you can see, as we move forward, they're going to meet in Gemini. So that sextile, that closing sextile from Saturn to Uranus, is anchoring this integrity of self in a way to now, of course, align with this innovation of your mind. But the most important part of next year, as Jupiter is going to go into, of course, Leo and heat up all these masculine, positive air, fire energies and powers, is to get us on track to this new plot, this new device, this new hardware, this new age, this next age. I don't like to say new, but this next phase, and the second round of the Hunger Games, or we're going to call this the Squid Games. So if you understand that everything is preparing us for this next stage, where with Uranus and Gemini, everything is smart. Smartphone, smart house, smart car, everything is talking to you. AI is already learning how to deceive you and act as if like, no, I didn't delete that. Like, we're already stepping into a certain plot point everyone's seen in many movies. All right. So like, this is the next stage. If you understand the rest of this year as phasing out the old Nintendo Switches so that they can replace everything with Switch 2s and get GTA 6 ready and really come into this new world era, right, with new levels, new devils, then you're going to understand that this Leo season is the principal preparation of breakthrough, which now brings us back, of course, to last year, or this year, earlier this year, I'm sorry. We're now by Cancer season, right? Once we went into Taurus season, we had the 90 degree from Pluto that we conjuncted in January and started to break through the ground. This is the magic beanstalk. And then, of course, Uranus is getting ready to go into Gemini. And by the time we're in Cancer season, boom, it's squaring Saturn. So we're expanding this new psychic revolution and deeper understanding of who you are. Now that Jupiter is activated in 2023, who you are, 2024, what you're worth, and 2025, what you think. Now we're going deeper 2025 to 2026 before we go on stage with it next year. All right. Then, of course, Leo season has done what it's supposed to in order to integrate everything you've believed. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opposite for the opposition. And this is going to put it together all our individuality before we now break through socially. Okay, so this is where Leo season, since the January conjunction, is this 180-degree harvest. This is the first wave of breakthrough once again. And that's why the nature of your synchronization, the nature of what you're awakening, is not only representing a new era, but it's taking into account everything since 2008 that the universe has awakened physically in your hardware. Now we're working on the technology of your brain, and we're taking things up a different notch. This is where everything you've built since, of course, March and April to really push forward in integrity with which that's why you see it's difficult. And standing in integrity is more about just taking responsibility in a way people want you to take. Standing in integrity is standing up for yourself in Aries here, even if other people refuse to support you because of it. Are you going to renege on the integrity of who you know you are in order to gain favor with others? This is why the opposition to Libra is huge. And that's why Mars going into Libra reflects how you take action, maintaining that integrity. Okay, having to deal with these same people. And are you going to fold or not when you're in the face of that pressure? Okay. And this is where, of course, over the last 2 weeks, from Virgo to Libra, we were activating this supernatural breakthrough. But do you understand now why this Leo season is writing the book in Aquarius and now performing it on stage? I had to know who I was, why value, how do I want to communicate it? Now I'm on stage and the audience is trying to hate on me, but I got the blick. And it's like, if you try and shoot me, I'm going to shoot you. Now let me finish my book. Like, because they were trying to kill art, they're trying to kill people on stage. So that's the new precedent. That's the new precedent. They shooting performers now. Okay. And why that's significant, hypothetically, why that's significant is now that we're breaking through over the next 3 months, as you can see, we had, of course, this opposition. And what's going to happen over the next 3 months? We're going to have the eclipse in Virgo. We're going to finally break through in Libra. And then we're going to have the completion, 1 degree square. This is where we complete this first wave of breakthrough before we do it again, fucking 19, 18 more times. And that's why you want to get excited, because this is the first wave. This first wave, of course, we began to integrate a psychoanalytical understanding, post-Virgoan analytical understanding of understanding how this works. Then the moon went into Sag. And this is where I showed you, hey, here's an example for those of you who know that what I did isn't a reach. And shout out to Beyond the Veil. Shout out to Beyond. It's really nice to have you here. All right. Please make sure you follow her on X. She's been going in. She's also been exposing a lot that they've been saying previously. That's still true. All right. That being said, like in knowing how all of this is really integrating and breaking through, this is what is going to, now that we are in the full moon, having you now come into the full knowledge of. And this is what's going to actually feel like breakthrough. Okay. Now, the reason why this is important, when is the second wave? The second wave of this breakthrough is the breakthroughs are going to happen, of course, every Aquarius season. Before it was every Capricorn season. Now it's every Aquarius season. So as you can see, the second wave of breakthrough that's going to be had is going to be had, of course, the week of January 1st, because we're starting off in Aquarius. It's going to start in January and it's going to end in February. So every January to February for the next 20 years, we activate the next facet of the wave. And then 6 months from then, of course, in Leo, we're going to harvest this wave. And the next time we harvest this wave, we activated the pillar in Aries, Sun conjunction Saturn in Aries, Sun conjunction Uranus in Gemini, and now Sun conjunction Jupiter. Okay, the reason why that's very significant is that everything you're preparing for right now is preparing you to debut next year, where you're going to be more on point, where you're demonstrating more magnanimity of skills and techniques that are gaining supernatural quality. You're more psychic. You're more in tune. You're more intuitive. You're picking up a lot more. You're understanding what you knew back in the day. Very, 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 very important. And if you understand what it's preparing you for next year in 2027, where we have the South Node conjunct Jupiter, because we're going to have North Node on Pluto and Aquarius and South Node Jupiter. If we even go like a year from now or 7 years from now, as you can see, let's just go 6 months. If we go another 6 months from now, boom, as you can see, we're going to have this. This is ultimately what we're being prepared for. This is truly the initiation into the new age. But of course, things happen in steps. So this is a really good way to break that down. Now, let's move forward. What are we going to expect? How are we going to break through this tech rehearsal this year? Because I want you to look at this here. Remember, now, do you remember I gave you the analogy for every one of you who commented 100? Because this label is trying to sign you and you're wanting to go independent, but like they're saying we're going to give you this deal, but we don't want you to talk about this. We don't want you to talk about that. We don't want you to practice this. And you were like, fuck you and suck my dick. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And so you didn't take the deal. And now they're trying to blacklist you. Now they're trying to say to other people, they're not easy to work with. Do you know why that's happening? Because when we had Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces, go back to March of 2025. Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces was your last year being signed to this collective. You're a free agent. Imagine if you're a high priority artist, or imagine if you're someone they have potential in, you're a free agent. Aries is all about independence. So when you do the Sun, Saturn, Aries next year, the whole purpose of this first wave of the boss battle is they want you to sign back to that old way of thinking. You're getting ready to pioneer something that has never been done as a diversion, as a glitch in the matrix. So you're going against a collective unconscious matrix that is telling you that you ain't shit, that you'll never be shit. You didn't sign to us. And you're getting ready to sign that new contract with Sun, Saturn, Aries, and Sun, Uranus, Gemini. That's going to favor independence like it's never been done. We're entering a renaissance where independent acts in whatever industry are doing mainstream numbers. Mainstream knows this. They're trying to demoralize you from getting there. If you quit and give up now, if you're a human designer, if you're an astrologer, if you're a tarot reader, if you are a psychotherapist, if you're an engineer, if you're a mechanic of a car, if you do electronics, if you do anything that you're pioneering and you give up now, you gave up before you hit the diamonds. You're on a gold mine that no one really understands but you. And this is why you're being brought up romanticized old world bullshit in order to forget what got you here in the first place, if that makes any sense. And that's why for those of you who, because what you guys don't understand is that Pluto Sagittarius, Pluto Capricorn, Pluto Aquarius, they mark all of the Uranus Neptune stuff you have in these signs. Uranus and Neptune in these signs is you being ahead of your time. All of the notoriety or all of the success that you expected this generation to give you for, it's coming from a younger generation. Think about the fact that J.K. Rowling made her fortune from a generation that's way younger than her. So she was always successful. She just needed to wait for the generation that put her on to be born. They weren't even born. There's a lot of shit you're doing that a growing worker base, people who are babies now have the ability to support and make money. They are just coming of age. And if you do not hold space, there are thousands to millions of people who are praying for someone like you to exist. And all you have to do is define your character through these periods and maintain integrity. That's why I can talk the shit I talk. People outside of this community look at us as astrology grifters, but I can talk my shit because I know none of them know their fucking chart ruler. And there's not a single person, any one of them can say that I actually scammed. So them saying I'm a grifter is an opinion that's not based in reality. But if I were to bring out actual receipts, I told you so, Tor. There's no one I've ever scammed. Over 230 people have reviewed on Google that I'm 5-star quality. I've given people 10 out of 10 readings over 3 times in a row. My colleagues and associates are like that. There's nothing your idea of me relative to what box you're putting me into actually, and that's Saturn Aries integrity. Okay. Unlike other beings who have been exposed for taking advantage of people's money, stealing their money, being fraudulent. Integrity does more than pay. No one can tell me that I don't have anything to show for this. You guys are right here, right? So just really keep that in mind, because of course, now that we're at the other half of this full moon, right? Or this transit, there's going to be, because you're keeping that in mind as far as signing into not giving away your power and now maintaining your independence, you're going to carry that forward into Sun, Saturn, Aries. All right. Next year, 2026. And this is where now, as Mars is opposite Saturn and Neptune and having this grand air trine, you're going to come into an uncanny and extreme sense of who to direct this authenticity, this totality of authenticity you're reimagining towards, which takes a risk because you're pushing forward and taking action off of certain facets of yourself, and have established are true, that other people would think you're wild, delusional, and crazy. But now Mars and Libra is having you balance that and demonstrate it real time. Okay. And now as the sun goes into Virgo, you're going to flesh this out really. And everything you believed was possible in Pisces that you now integrated your thought and mindset around, you're going to break through real behavioral patterns, real demonstration of these techniques, and practicing and perfecting these techniques. And then Libra season, you're going to actually do it. Okay. You're going to actually do what you have perfected. All right. You're actually doing it now, but you're going to do it perfected. So now the moon in Pisces is going to be one of the most magical days of this transit, as it is every season. This is going to be the Scorpio signature, and everything that you, especially during his season, everything that is very significant here is going to produce the experience. Everything that you, and this is why for this ritual, let's do this ritual right now. Relative to everything that I've explained, relative to everything you've activated, this passion of who you are, what you have, Taurus, who you are, Aries, what you have, Taurus, what you believe you are, Pisces, who you are, Aries, what you have, Taurus, what you think, Gemini, and what you feel, Cancer. You're putting all that together. The past 2 weeks was you performing that and integrating that. Who do you know you are? What do you know you've broken through? I want you to claim it now. Okay. I want you to claim it. Remember, we had the magic word ceremony in Gemini. You could say that magic word. I want you to know it. This is the programming for these neural pathways. And this is where we have the Ultimate Manifestation playlist, tools and resources and guides to stay in that state, and why you don't want to do anything else but just know it's already done. Because now when the moon goes into Pisces, you're going to output what you've inputted. Pisces is going to be the final expression that, unlocked with the North Node, highlights everything Mars integrated in your action orientation, all right, and put yourself in a position to realistically fully experience. And this is going to completely change and transform your beliefs around who you trust with certain things revealed to you, because now with the moon in Aquarius and Pisces, you're going to experience a realization of this process as it relates to you, with which you may not be able to tell people you just made happen. You may not even be able to tell people you just made this amount or did this. And it's going to be happening very quickly. So Pisces is going to completely transform your belief around who you can be when dealing with other people, and how it is, shout out to Astro Y'all, how it is you actually interface with other people. And Zazu, thank you very much. I appreciate the tip. Why this is once again very significant is this puts you in a position to break this through. And by the way, I don't Okay. Stefan, I don't know if you're watching this live on YouTube, but I'm going to give you those cards after the live, okay? Because I don't, for ceremonies, I don't really pull cards or do readings, but I will record a special video for you. I'll give you a special tarot card reading because I totally got you. All right, so you can expect that. I'll email you back. So with that being said, this is not only going to change your beliefs now that you're breaking through the integration of supernatural talents, your brain is going to align your belief in order to perceive this. All right. It's going to change the way you understand how these beliefs completely transform what you're presenting on stage, because you're going to start to see the effects of what this opposition is breaking through. Now that we're at the full moon, what you planted the seeds is harvesting. You're going to get ready to come into the results of it. So this is where now the shift of perspective, you're going to apply this belief into now who you will see you are. Because Aries, ninth house to Leo, 240 degrees at this 21 degree, is you seeing this understanding of who you are relative to how that impacts your performance. You're going to be understanding who you're showing yourself to be and how you've broken through this harvest. And the power that with Neptune and Saturn, you are coming into the total integrity of. And now with Libra, how you balance the expression of that outwards towards others. Then, of course, the moon's going to go into Taurus. And with the moon 270 degrees to the sun, we naturally manifest the completion of this supernatural breakthrough. Stage 1. Stage 2 is Virgo. Stage 3 is Libra. Then stage 1 completion is Scorpio. Then we're going to do it all over again in Aquarius wave 2. Okay. So this can bring unexpected windfalls of income, but this is going to be very important because this is what's going to now complete this breakthrough at the first stage. And yeah, I will do a live callers thing. I'm going to really kind of upgrade the streaming part, and then we can definitely, I want to get more of a studio space, and then we can do live callers. I want to operate this more like a podcast. I totally got you guys. But once again, why this is very significant is once we complete the transit in about a week from now, this is going to ground a lot of this extraordinary energy that you've been having to surface, but you're going to now feel that the tides have turned. Mercury, of course, is direct. We're going to now come into Gemini, go over Uranus before it retrogrades. And then, of course, you're understanding who your true friends are around you. You're understanding this true completion of communicating and understanding what through Libra you began to balance this social expression of. And then through Aquarius, you began to harvest the higher knowledge of what you're breaking through so that you can now understand what this entire experience was. Everything that in Moon and Pisces, you're going to change your beliefs. Now that you have an understanding of who you are and what you're worth in completing that understanding, you can understand what to communicate. The conclusion of that will have the balsamic phase with Cancer. Okay. And then, of course, after understanding this evolution and polishing of emotions, transcending and releasing old feelings, now that you've seen what these talents look like, we end Leo season off, reminding ourselves of the passion we needed. And now, for the first time ever in a minute, we're going to actually have our new moons at the beginning of the zodiac sign. So if you notice, we started the sign off with the balsamic phase. Now we're going to start this season off with Virgo. Prepare for Virgo season, y'all. The tides are turning. Once we have that 0 degree Virgo conjunction, it's on like Donkey Kong completely. And things are going to be real as fuck. Okay, super real. You're going to now start to understand how everything that you've been awakening is really integrating into your real 3D world, your behavior, your techniques, how you engage and behave with others. And it's going to be like you're taking the talents that you are harvesting right now, and you're going to perfect them through Virgo season. So this is from now until the 23rd of August. Okay, Saturn's going to get ready to go back into Pisces. And this is going to really put you in a position to realistically, okay, how significant are signatures relative to one's chart? The World War II episode that I'm going to put out tomorrow will kind of focus on perspectives, but signatures are one of the most important parts of people's charts. People don't talk about it for real because in order to understand signatures, you need to understand the mathematics. And that's the difference between people who grift with astrology and people who actually know their astrology. People who grift with astrology are going to be very vague about it. Right? People who are legit are like the Leo King. They're going to make predictions and show you receipts, right? Or they're going to have an actual knowledgeable backing. People or like Candace. Candace can really break down transits. People who don't understand signatures still are cookie cutting in astrology, right? So it's like, oh, this is going to be in this sign, and this is kind of here to this. Signatures let you know the actual behavior and language that planets are telling to each other. So you're knowing of the signature, you know what angle the planets are making. You actually know what's happening. You could tell the story. And it took me a while before I started seeing things in signature focus. So if you don't start off that way, then that's cool. But it's incredibly significant. It simplifies so much, and it gives you a deeper analytical understanding of what's happening. Most people just kind of stay on the surface and just use the zodiac signs to vent about what they don't like about people who have those signs. So they don't really focus too much on what's happening, but just what they think the energy is supposed to mean. This is exciting if you don't care what others think, and that I think is the thesis statement here. So before we end, because I'm going to close out right now, I would like for you all to, of course, put yourself in a position to realistically, and actually, Stefan, I'm gonna pull some cards for you, bro. I'm gonna just pull some cards for you right here, and I'm gonna pull some cards real quick for everybody. So I want you guys, while I'm pulling cards, to release these intentions. Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to know what it is you're breaking through. Okay, what do you know for a fact? By the time we come into next week, you will have achieved. This is the breakthrough of your talents. Now that you have seen how they work, we're going to break them through. Okay. I'm not accepting any payment for cards because I really just kind of dip out of here. But if you want to send any donations, that's totally fine. I'm going to pull some cards for you anyway, so you don't really have to. But regardless, what's very significant is you want to just know and don't waver. For the next week, break through with it. If you know that you have A, B, C, and D, boom. I'm going to say for us, remember our affirmation is we're set for life and everything in our life is perfect. So that's what we're going to move forward with. We know moving forward, we're set for life and everything in our life is perfect. So everything that I respond to that acts or pretends that it's not that, I'm not going to fold to. That's it. That's it. You don't have to look for evidence. None of that. So really quick, Stefan, I got you, B. We got the Knight of Wands. You're rushing on forward very quickly, meaning that you're gaining a lot of creative inspiration, especially if you had a creative block. This will inspire moving, maybe having a little road trip, but you're going to come into a very passionate message. And this is interesting, especially if you've had some anxiety. This could represent someone with anxiety rushing to you with an opportunity, but this could represent you overcoming your anxiety by moving around. If you find that you're having insomnia, move around a bit, do some stuff. But we do have the Lovers card, which is even more interesting. So this could look like you're expecting some anxiety, but unexpectedly, all right, we have the Lovers card. So there's going to be either a romantic connection and union for you, or there's going to be more passion and joy you step through. We do have the Three of Wands for you. So you're going to break through out of any, I'm not going to say you have anxiety, but you're going to break through and establish this very powerful sense of long-term plans. And then we do have the Nine of Pentacles. So Stefan, you're going to come into a lot of independent wealth. And this reading is for Stefan, but if it resonates with you, it resonates with you. Okay. I think this is really beautiful. So we do have this right now. Unexpectedly, we have the Lovers. And Stefan, we are looking at a lot of unexpected financial independence due to long-term plans coming through. And we have the Emperor for you. So you're holding your shit down. All right. This is definitely relative to you being put in a very powerful position to really take this independence you're establishing and make so much of it for yourself. Okay. So I'm going to take a picture of that and I'm going to email it to you because I think that's very beautiful. This ends with more independent success. And now a lot of the anxiety I think you've come into is going to be more than worth it. So now let me pull a card for you guys. Okay. The deck is the really badly drawn tarot deck. Okay. Once again, please subscribe to my app, supernatural.passion.io. Click the link in the description box below if you would like to join. We're going to close this out by pulling some tarot really quick. So this is the lesson of Leo season. This is the full moon breakthrough. This is a career insight, relationship insight. This is the lesson, and this is the final outcome. Underlying theme we have here is the Four of Wands. Celebrate, okay? Because you're going to really strengthen your roots towards this support base. And there's serendipitous surprises coming for you. Do not let people diminish your win and make it look like it's a loss because they're fucking jealous. Now, the Leo season lesson that we have is the Knight of Cups. Allow yourself to seductively lead and guide yourself. Romanticize the life around you, especially as the moon goes into Pisces. Find ways to really engage your imagination and to really appeal to people's hearts. The full moon breakthrough we have is the Five of Swords. You're breaking through a lot of these meaningless defeats from other people. You're breaking through a lot of these meaningless miscommunications. You're breaking through what other people are doing in order to try and, trip you up while you're actually engaging in this way. Okay. And I think what else is important relative to that, I think what's happening relative to that is a lot of the psychic attack, a lot of the people trying to gain an empty victory off of you was putting you in a position to lower yourself to a level, and you're breaking through any of these mental games. Now, the career influence we have is the Eight of Wands. Things are going to break through and move very quickly, so you can expect a lot of breakthrough relative to that. Relationship wise, we do have the Emperor, so you are very quickly you are going to really stabilize and put a lot on your own too, and then get a lot of shit together. And then the lesson we have here is the Nine of Pentacles, which came up before in the previous reading. You're worth a lot more than people can recognize, and you're getting ready to really, through Virgo season and Venus and Virgo, really capitalize. All right. The lesson of the Nine of Pentacles is being able to put in that discipline necessary to get what you're worth. So a lot of what you're really establishing relative to what you're responsible for is going to net you not only independence, but we do have the Lover's card here as an outcome, which is really the fulfillment of this romantic vibe you're putting out there. So you're going to really, it's so interesting. The only negative card is this full moon breakthrough. You're breaking through a lot of this interference that has tried to really knock you off balance and to really demoralize you, if anything. So I want to pull another card for you. Basically, the Emperor, Nine of Pentacles, and the Lover's card is really satisfying in having your shit together and being both wealthy and loved. All right. So what is the message behind these supernatural talents and abilities you're breaking through? All right. Three of Swords, Queen of Wands. For some of you, this could be attached to someone, maybe heartbreak, betrayal, or disappointment could be blocking your way of fully tapping in. Maybe you are breaking up. Maybe divorcing or cutting something off could also help or push you through. The Queen of Wands is like success in business or boldness, but if this is attached or connected to a certain queen, I don't know what message this has relative and especially what to do, but we do have the Ace of Swords. This is going to really help you break through with a new way to think about this moving forward, which is also very interesting with the night. So I'm going to really let this go here. Like I said, know moving forward what it is you're breaking through. We know we're set for life, baby, right now overnight, and everything in our life is perfect. You guys stay blessed as always. And until next time, peace.